Hi everyone, how are you? So let's talk about blowjobs, shall we? Very requested video, probably the most requested one I've had. There's so much to say. I will try to do it all in a video. You know, I don't like to make very long videos, but there's a lot of information. And these big topics, I have a few big topics that maybe I'll do a live chat one day and then you can ask me questions. I just never did a live chat and I'm not good at those, all the technical stuff. So I'm sorry for that, guys. I'm trying my best. But let's talk a little bit about this today. And I'm going to start by talking about the name blowjob that we've given this act, this sexual act of inserting a penis inside your mouth. So a blowjob is not a job, okay? We have to, I really don't like that word. And I wrote about it in my book, Sex, Magic, Evolution. I'm gonna read the first paragraph so we can kind of get into it first. All right, but this is not a job. This is an act of taking life force into your body, into your second sexual organ, which is your throat. All right, and this is something very important for basic sex magic. And again, you got to read this book. You've got to understand the basics of sex magic and sexual flow in order to understand all these things. And also watch my other videos from the past. So oral devotion. This is a part of my book, Sex, Magic, Evolution. So a blowjob can be a sacred act, not the kind we see in porn, but an oral devotion for a true divine masculine. Let's refer to the blowjob as oral devotion, shall we? I like to change the names that this society has given a lot of things if you followed me for a long time. First, because it's not a job we must do, and it has nothing to do with blowing anything. In fact, we suck when we give head, no? We don't blow. So why do we call it a blowjob? We suck because it is the natural way to receive and worship the always giving divine masculine energy. All right, this is a really long chapter. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but let's talk about this because we already can see how society has been distorting and warping a lot, like divine sexual flow generally. So I love for us to talk about it and rename it, just like the word vagina. Never use the word vagina. We use the word portal because it is a portal of life, remember? So it is not a job we have to do in this society. The way people are doing it, it looks like a job, yeah. And most women are doing it like a job because they're not doing it from the right place and with the right intentions and with the right partner most of the time. So yeah. Could definitely be a job now, but it's not supposed to be a job. So an oral devotion is a devotional offering, energetic offering, physical but mostly energetic, to the God that's in the man. All right, so we're all humans. I'm a human woman, I'm making love to a human man, but I embody the goddess and he embodies the God. And the more work we do on ourselves and the more conscious we are, the more we can embody that energy of goddess and God, and the more we can come together in sacred union as the goddess and the God, right, in these human forms. So it is the worshiping of his divine masculine, which is why women, yes, I'm gonna say this, we need to give a lot less blowjobs. Okay, I'm gonna explain. All right, because most men today, unfortunately, we love you men, but let's be honest, you're not in their divine masculine most of the time, if ever. So it is a powerful gift and to give to a man once you understand what it really is energetically. And you're basically allowing a man's life force and sexual energy to enter your throat, your mouth. And again, I did a video about the vagus nerve, so watch that because that's going to explain a lot of things too. and also in my book, again, you read about it, and I explain how the throat, this area, the mouth, the throat, is actually it's a mirror of our sexual organs. So it's our second sexual organ. And especially for women, it has a different also power and meaning. So much to say. Okay, so we're creating reality with our sex, with our orgasm, right? But we're also creating reality with the words we speak. Words are very important. Once you understand magic, you know this. It's so important. So these two areas, the throat, the cervix. The throat is basically the mirror of the cervix inside the woman's body. And this is, the external, the lips are the vulva. So really everything mirrors. So it is not just a second sexual organ, but it's also the tool that we manifest with. It's the words we speak. It's our voice. In my Sex Priestess program, I do a lot of work with women on awakening their voice, and physically, and that awakens it energetically as well. And we find our true power as who we are, our signature. As this human goddess form that I came here to be. So most men and women today think, because of porn, unfortunately, not a fan of porn, as you know this, that any sexual act, every time you have sex with someone, it should start with a blowjob for the man. Like every single time. That's how every porn movie starts. And yes, I do not watch porn, but I do go once in maybe a year or two. I like to go and look and see what is the collective consciousness looking at right now. Where are people are learning sex from? Because let's face it, most people are learning sex from porn. So and it's getting more and more distorted. It's getting worse and worse every single time I go and I can't even watch the whole thing. But every single time it starts with a blowjob. And once you understand the sacred sexual flow between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, you understand immediately why this is so destructive and it's so not healthy. This is not the way it goes, all right? We're gonna dive into it. I did a few videos on the sexual flow, so you can go watch that as well, but I'm gonna go over it quickly now. So, the energetic divine flow between a masculine and a feminine are when the man first, he's the channel of divine light. He is the first one to give, to fill in the vessel, which is the divine feminine. She's the receiver. He gives her. This is not the whole cycle, all right? So first he needs to give her. She takes it in. She transmutes it into love, into power, into truth, if she's in her divine feminine, of course, like most women are not in their divine feminine too. She brings it up into her heart, and from her heart, she gives it back to him, filling him up, even with his own life force, but 10 times fold stronger and with more power and wisdom and love for him to share with the world. So this is the divine sacred sexual flow. So you can see that if we're watching a porn, and if we believe that when we start having sex with someone, we immediately need to give the men first a blowjob, we're already distorting the sexual flow. This is not how it works. The feminine needs to be the feminine. You want to receive, all right? And of course, it starts way before sex. So it starts to see if this man is even your divine masculine to even give you that life force. But that's a whole other conversation. So a conscious woman is going to want her man to show up and prove himself, all right? This is not from ego. This is because I'm a conscious woman and I know that I need a sacred union to bring light into the world. This is not just for my own sake that I'm choosing a man right now. I'm choosing a man for the collective. I'm choosing a man because I know that the men that I choose, that's the kind of energy I'm going to bring to the collective. So my man needs to step up, all right? So a conscious woman is going to want her man to show up and prove himself to be the giver of life force before she empties herself and gives him her energy. She needs to be full. We need to be full women, all right? So she's looking for that divine, and she wants someone who can fill her up energetically, physically as well, and also be in his devotion of the divine feminine and honoring her divine feminine as well. So before we honor the god, the goddess needs to be worshipped and devoted. That's how it works. I'm sorry to tell you guys. I know you all want to be all politically correct now, but the goddess, this is the meaning of the goddess rising, of mother rising, because we need to begin to worship and respect and honor the divine feminine above all. When we do that, when we have a world where we respect the divine feminine, all men are going to be worshipped like gods. I promise you that. So all you boys who say, oh, but she needs to worship me, she needs to do this for me. No. You need to give her first. You need to fucking step up, mature, grow the fuck up and be a man, and give her life force, divine, sacred life force with commitment. And then she will give you power that you cannot imagine. But most people don't want to do that. Most people don't want to do the work. So that's the divine flow. And when we have a world where women are respected, I'm going to repeat that, all men are going to be respected. All children are going to be free. All animals are going to be free. We're going to live in heaven once the goddess is truly worshipped again. And again, don't hear this from your ego. Listen from your heart to what I'm saying. This is not an ego conversation, all right? This is to wake you up. This is to wake myself up as well, all of us, into our divinity. So going back to our oral devotion conversation. So a conscious woman, she doesn't need a man who wants to take from her and thinks about his pleasure first. It's first of all, when you learn sacred sexuality, when you go into the temple and you learn from Isis and Lilith, it's first of all about the woman's pleasure and orgasm. And trust me, when you're creating a reality like that, men are experiencing pleasure beyond everything, not just physical, but spiritual and emotional. And they are grounded in their divine masculine, and they're whole, and they can be the pure divine consciousness that they are here to be. And women can be the love that they're here to be, because we feel safe around these men. So that is, so we don't want the inner boy, we don't want a boy. Like I for example, had, someone who, after 2 times of sleeping with him, asked me to give him a blowjob in one way or another. And I was just, he was a very handsome man, let me tell you. And immediately when he said that, when he kind of like demanded me to give him a blowjob, he turned into the most unattractive man right in front of my eyes. I could not be attracted to him anymore, because his God just, I lost it. Like I lost it. He lost it. So worship your woman first. Prove to her that you are worthy of her devotion as well. Trust me, and again, I'm talking about conscious women. I'm not talking about every girl that you fuck and sleep with. Obviously, many girls are not in their divinity. I've met a lot of them. I have a lot of videos on the shadow feminine. So I'm talking about if you're watching this video, it's probably because you want to have a more conscious sexual union. All right. So this is what I'm talking to that part in you. So we don't want that inner boy in a man. It's very unattractive to a conscious woman. It might be attractive to a little girl when she's still not aware, but and that's again a feminine partner. If she's in her girl phase, like I said, she's unconscious, she's gonna she's gonna want to pleasure the men first, because it's coming from, not because of a place of I want to worship your God, I want to suck up your God, I want to bring him out of you, right? That's a conscious woman. That's love. That's an oral devotion from love. Like, give it to me. I want to get it out of you. But a little girl is gonna give a blowjob to a man because she needs him to love her, and she needs him to like her, and to give her, and to like her, basically, So you see the difference. So the difference is for you, man. I'm talking to you. What kind of an energy do you want? If that's enough for you, just to have someone, just to masturbate with the woman's body, basically, go for it. You should not watch my channel. You should not read my books. This is not for you. But if you're a man who is actually wanting to step up into your divine masculine and actually be a god, not just say, by the way, Men who are in their divine masculine don't walk around and say, I'm a king, I'm a god. No, no, no. Those kind of men in their divine masculine don't ever say that. So if a man comes to me, and I have a lot of these emailing me and texting me all the time, trust me, I am a god, I am Pharaoh, I am a king. No, you're not. No, because a man in his divine masculine is very silent in his power. He does the work inside. He embodies consciousness. He doesn't show to the whole world on Instagram and I am a king. No. This is not the way it works. It's not attractive to a conscious woman. There's no BS. Like, there's no room for BS in a conscious relationship. All right. So again, ask yourself as a man, what kind of a sexual exchange do you want? Do you really want a conscious fucking woman to worship your inner God and do everything that she can in order to bring out that God in you? Or, and again, it shows that I'm talking about oral devotion, blowjobs, but this is also in your life. She's gonna, the same way she's gonna give it to you sexually, she's gonna serve you like that in your life as well. So what do you want? And girls, what do you want? Women, what do you want? What kind of a sexual exchange do you want? What kind of a energy do you want to affect your voice? And this is the next point I want to talk about. So again, a conscious man wants a full devotion from his woman, from a place of actual worshiping his inner God. All right? So let it sit with you for a bit. Now, let's talk about the throat. Women, sisters, I love you so much, but I can share with you, I don't like to share a lot of my personal life, but I have given oral devotion in my life to maybe, it's 2.5 times, because 2.5 men, because that last time was kind of half-ish, but I don't do that a lot because it's the most intimate thing for me. It's extremely intimate because I already feel naturally what happens in my body as the feminine vessel, how it affects me when I give oral devotion. I was married once and I did not give my husband a blowjob. Don't worry, I served him in other ways, but still, it's so intimate and it's so powerful. All right, so when you are allowing this masculine energy inside your throat, it affects your voice as a woman, not just your physical voice, your energetic voice, your purpose, your mission, the way you express your divine feminine, your freedom as a divine feminine. It affects everything. So voice is a big thing. It affects your manifestation powers because of the way how you're using your words, your actual vibrations and frequency of your voice. When you speak, you're speaking reality and life out. So I want you to take a minute and feel what I just said. It is so powerful, all right? So again, and this is again connected to the vagus nerve. When we're giving oral devotion, it can activate the vagus nerve. Go watch my video about the vagus nerve, and which is very important. So you want to activate it. Like, if you're giving oral devotion, it's great to activate the vagus nerve. It's amazing. Just make sure you do it with the right partner in the right way, all right? So let's talk about some good stuff, right? I try to explain to you energetically what's happening with oral devotion. So a woman feels when she gives an oral devotion and kind of sucks away that life force from divine masculine, it could be the most amazing, intense, powerful, pleasurable experience. I mean, you can have an orgasm. By the way, I'm going to do another video on that, but you can have a throat orgasm, just a throat orgasm. And I teach it in my Sex Priestess program. And I don't know if I can even talk about that on YouTube, but definitely I'm gonna talk about it in my Advanced Sex Magic, which will come next year. So we can feel intense pleasure from oral devotion. Like I said, it stimulates the vagus nerve, which kind of helps relax and physically kind of like open up the nervous system in your body. And also it could be so it could be very beneficial physically for you and healthy also. But it can also be highly destructive because of all the reasons I've explained before. So Another tip I can give you, once you find your God and you want to worship, that you want to worship that God out of him, another beautiful thing you can do while you're giving oral devotion is to hum. So like it's a little difficult to do that when your mouth is full, but trying to activate the throat chakra and your voice and try to hum and use vocal toning at the same time. And just play with that and see what it feels in your body. So I'm not going to tell you what it's going to cause you. I want you to play with that and see if maybe it activates, your cervix, or it activates your chest, or it opens up your heart. Every woman is different and your body is going to be different. So just try to feel it out. All right. So let me see if I have a lot of things, but it's already a 20-minute video and I don't want to take too much of your time. So let me read maybe one more little thing from my Sex Magic Evolution book, okay? When a goddess takes a penis into her mouth, she takes in the channel that gives life itself. She takes God inside of her to connect and fill her up with his power. She opens her mouth, begging to be ravished, and for this God to open and activate her throat chakra, and to empower her voice even more. She knows that his power will empower hers even more. She knows that this act of worshiping him, this man she chose so carefully, right? Because that's what we need to do. This man she saw the God in will give her his life force with respect and love. Because it really also comes down to not what you do in oral devotion, but the consciousness and the intention that the man is in at the moment, right? So also when a man consumes, animal products, you don't want that energy in your body. As a priestess, sex priestesses do not eat animals. We keep our vessel as pure as possible. So you do not want, you want to make sure this man is healthy. He's healthy physically and spiritually and aligned with your vessel and your purpose, because that's what it's going to fill you up with, all right? And that's what you're going to manifest in the world as well. So it's very, very powerful. So where was I? She knows that this act of worshiping him, this man she chose so carefully, this man she saw the God in him, will give her his life force and with respect and love. She chooses a man who is a giver. For if she does this act with a man who takes from her or doesn't respect her, she will feel drained and even emotional sad at the end. So you will feel just like you are with any sexual intercourse with a man who's not in his divine masculine. You feel drained, like physically, emotionally. After sex, a woman needs to feel full of life, just full of life and grounded, very, very grounded. All right. So I hope this inspires you a little bit. Check out my books, Sex Magic Evolution and Symbols of Sex Magic. You got to read them in that order, especially if you want to read the Sex Priestess Manual is going to come soon. Make sure to read those two before as a preparation. They all kind of build up on each other. It's a full initiation to the temple. It's a lot of information. So and also check out my Sex Priestess program. I give 20% off if you sign up until February 2nd, 2022. So I love you so much, and I'm a priestess of the temple. I am a servant of the mother, and I pray for the awakening of all men, women, and children on planet Earth. Thank you.